Right then, my friends, before we start the video properly today, I'd like to show you an amazing bit of wildlife that lives out here in the marina. And, well, no, it's not me, don't worry. It's unbelievably a bottlenose turtle, or as far as I can tell, some kind of turtle. And I'd heard something splashing into the water as I was walking up and down, going to and from the boat over the last few weeks. But I was walking past the other day and I'd got some stuff, I got some mats and things under me arm, and I was walking down and I saw a turtle at the side of the water, and I'm like, can't possibly be real, that cannot be a turtle just out and about living his life here. So anyway, I then came down to the boat, only like 30 seconds away, and I was on the boat and started putting me mats on the roof for me bike to go on and stuff like that, and I was like, I've got to go back and see if that's real. And unbelievably, it true enough was real, and it quickly scuttled off into the water. So, I hope you've enjoyed just this random look at a few pictures and a very short video of it. It's very unpredictable trying to get any actual decent footage or images of this little creature, but I just thought that was absolutely fascinating. So far we've had loads of herons, we've had a peacock, we've had all sorts of water-based fish and toads and goodness knows what, and now we've added a turtle onto the wildlife run since I moved back to the canals. Hello there folks, I'm Dan Brown from sortofinteresting.com, and today you are joining me on board good old narrowboat Abel's Ark, and my goodness me, it is an unbelievably hot day. We're in the middle of a heat wave in the UK, it's about 28 degrees at the moment and it's just cloudless blue skies, sun beating down, the boat roof and sides are too hot to touch, from the outside at least, just double check that. Well, you can actually feel warmth coming through to the inside there. But anyway, in today's video, well, in the next few hours, I would like you to join me on a beautiful countryside stroll. We're going to travel down the canal and then take shortcuts across the countryside, back to the canal, more countryside, and then down the lanes to my hometown of Oswestry. We're setting out from the marina here at Ellesmere, and my goodness me, if you love countryside or canals or scenery or just rural life in general, then I hope that you'll enjoy what's, well, we're hopefully going to have in store over the next couple of hours, although the video will hopefully be shorter than a few hours. Let's have a very brief overview of our route. It's about 11 miles give or take by my calculations, and we're setting out from the marina at Ellesmere. We're going to travel down the canal here to by Tetchell, at which point we will cut across the fields following this dotted line, which is going to save us a lot of time, as you can see, cutting around this big curve of canal. So we're going to go straight across the two sort of nearest points and then find ourselves over at the Frankton Basin, where you've got the locks that go down onto the Montgomery Canal. We'll travel down here and then again just do a little bit of cross-field walking to get to this little country lane here, and when we get there, believe me, that is a rural place to be. At which point we will follow this road up and down to Bavins Wood. From Bavins Wood we'll walk up to Whittington, and then from Whittington we will once again cut across the fields all the way to Middleton Pool and then up the road into Oswestry, where I'll then collect my bike from my mum's house and then cycle all the way back out along this road, up and down the big hill, and then back to Ellesmere. Anyway, we'll worry about that another time. Right then, my friends, we've got a backpack full of water and drinks, and I suppose it's probably time that we set out. Right, wish me luck on this. Very clear sky above us. Right, you know what, my friends, I think for something a little bit different, instead of doing all my filming out here as we walk and then doing a voiceover when I get some sort of peace and quiet moment to put it all together, I'm just going to actually try and edit all these and commentate over the clips as they're being filmed, so that it'll be an actual real-time few thoughts on the walk, which may be interesting or completely and utterly boring. Right, let's see how it pans out and how long this video ends up being. So, as you may be able to tell, it is extraordinarily busy here at Ellesmere out on the canal, as you can expect from the summer months, and as you can expect, as we say, when you've got nothing but blue sky above you. What a glorious day to be out boating, biking, walking. So, as you can probably tell by what you're seeing on screen right now, as soon as we've stepped a few moments away from the main basin area at Ellesmere, we have just again stumbled into this incredible, beautiful, peaceful rural countryside setting. Got sheep over at the other side of the canal there, If we pan around, just got this absolutely perfect, lovely countryside. For as many miles as you want to keep walking in this direction, really. I think that this is an absolutely perfect illustration of what I love about boat life. The fact that we've been walking maybe 15 minutes or so at this point, and you can see where we've already ended up. We've just got, certainly on this canal up on the Llangollen at least, such access to so much perfect countryside that, as I've said so many times in years gone by, it was places like this that I was walking to as my destination, rather than now obviously waking up at places like this and heading out further into the fields. Just a side note here, if we zoom in, you can see the little white wind turbine at Tetchel. I say little, it's absolutely massive in real life. So as we pass under the bridge here, we are now looking onto the little online marina at Tetchel. We've got the little echo of the bridge. You wouldn't think something so narrow as a bridge would give you such a strong echo effect. But as you can see, lit up almost perfectly half and half the canal here. If we zoom in, you've got all of these boats moored up on the left hand side, and basically this is just a little marina, just a few private moorings at the side of the canal here. It's an absolutely beautiful rural place. If you've watched my videos in the past, sorry about that bird kicking off to the side of us. If you've watched my videos in the past, then you may well have heard me talk about Tetchel, or seen me even more up there for a few nights on narrowboat Abel's Ark when I went on my first little trip on it. If we pan around here, just have a look at that bridge. Again, just a beautiful day and a beautiful place to be. You can see we've got the little hole in the side there, which is where they would store planks in the old days, which then if they needed to work on the canal, they could drop the planks down little grooves in the entrances to the bridges and then drain the water from one section of the canal, which I've seen actually in action on the bottom end of the Montgomery Canal, where there's some bits that are dry, some bits that are filled with water, and other bits that you literally wouldn't even recognise as a canal, but they're working on restoring it, so we'll see what happens over the coming years. This is what I quite like, these overhanging trees and stuff. Don't like them so much when they overhang properly into the canal, but as a nice little bit of shade and a nice sort of postcard romantic image, it is a nice place, nice image to see. I think it's quite interesting on Echo over there that they've got something other than the traditional blacking on the bottom, that blue line just above the waterline. You may hear a boat coming next to us now. Alright.
Hello there.
Hi. As we pass under another bridge, we're coming up to one of my favourite mooring places that I've spent many great weeks on board narrowboat Tilly in years gone by, and as I mentioned, I've spent a couple of nights here already on Abel's Ark. That is literally just on the canal past this absolutely gorgeous white house, right on the edge of the canal. What a place to have a house. And you can see, even as we're walking down towards it, there's a boat actually moored up. And basically anywhere in the sort of few hundred feet behind that boat there is where I've spent many happy days, and yeah, good times, good memories indeed. Right, my friends, we've got a holiday boat coming up behind us, but we're at Bridge 63, and this is where we are going to leave the canal, as the canal has got to pass around these little hills here. We're instead going to take an immediate right hand side up these steps, cut across the fields in this direction right ahead, and then rejoin as the canal curves around and meets us back at Frankton. Right, let's see what we can do. This may be where I start to wish that I had something other than a pair of shorts on. As you may see straight away ahead of us, we're cutting up through this overgrown area. Okay then, my friends, so as you're about to see, we've got quite an interesting path ahead of us. This little groove is indeed the actual public right of way, so this is less walking as it is wading, I suppose. Good times in the countryside. This is what it's all about. Our next field has got a much clearer path to walk through. Lovely jubbly, that's what we like to see. With the incredible dry weather we've had recently, this bridge isn't covering much of a stream here at all. In fact, as far as I can tell, it's completely dry. Right, should we go up and over the fence or should we go around it? I'm not sure about you folks, but this certainly looks like a good place to me. But we're going to head straight in that direction and to those trees in the centre there. Now we're definitely making some progress on this walk, my friend. Have a peek over the other side there. One of the only staircase locks around on this part of the canal. There's another one down at Whitchurch, but not much around to be fair, with going straight from one lock to another. If we just pan the camera around here though, how absolutely beautiful is this little black and white hut? About as traditional as you could possibly want to get. Absolutely beautiful spot this, and shame we've got the pylons cutting across here, but you can just see through the trees there, all the way over to one of the local nice hills to walk up. Can't think of the hill's name itself, but it's a little spire on the top called Rodney's Pillar. And as you can probably imagine, when it's a big hill surrounded by this sort of countryside as far as the eye can see, absolutely fantastic. It's a great place to be when all the yellow rapeseed flowers are all grown up, because you have just patches, like enormous patches of this bright fluorescent yellow that you can look down on from up there. Absolutely wonderful. So we've got a few little locks as we pass down here. It's nice to be in a proper bit of shade after crossing those open fields, I've got to be honest. Got an absolutely beautiful house here at the side of the canal, this white one. Again, beautiful garden, literally right on the edge of the canal, in a pound between two locks as well. So you've got every sort of iconic bit of canal sort of scenery, of the rural nature of it, your white painted like black and white houses and stuff like that, and of course your locks. Wonderful stuff, absolutely wonderful. This is the basin just below the Frankton locks. I thought I'd just pan the camera around for a moment and let you enjoy some peace. Okay, we've got a slight issue now, as I'm wearing shorts and we need to get straight through all of these nettles, straight over to there basically. So before we get stuck into that, let's take a moment and just enjoy the magic of the Graham Palmer lock here. Now, once upon a time, the basin just upstream from here was the junction that led towards Shrewsbury on a now very, very dry canal that hasn't been used for probably the best part of 100 years, I'm imagining, just as a rough guess off the top of my head. But if we walk down here, you'll see that because of the junction, obviously that little section of canal before you got to the first lock on the way towards Shrewsbury would have had to be at a certain water level, which was actually a different water level to the level here heading down towards Maysbury on the Montgomery Canal. So if you have a look, and this looks very, very grim there. Hello, my shadow in all the gooey water. But you can see how absolutely minimal the difference in the water level is from where the water is now to where the mud stops. And that's just basically to lock in this section of canal on this side of the lock at this level, so that it would run down at that level to wherever the first lock was on the Shrewsbury branch. Anyway, oh, I'm not looking forward to this. Good job it's very dry underfoot, because I might end up having to try and wade across and a non-specific path part of the ditch here. Well, it's been a bit of an adventure, my friends, but after picking up only a few more nettle stings, we are now at the side of the field. We're going to be cutting underneath the pylons that you might have seen earlier in this video. And fair play, we've got a solid channel straight up cut for us here, so we shouldn't get lost. So we're just over the halfway point now, give or take. My goodness me, I'm picking up the pace as I am getting very, very, very warm. And I think that the amount of sweating I've been doing on this walk, I probably should have topped up my sun cream. So who knows what I may look like tomorrow is all I'll say. My friends, a fox has just cut across the path up ahead. Oh, sorry, I ran across that last bit of a field. I just stung myself on another nettle. Yeah, fox has just run across just ahead of us here. Now it's almost certain that it won't come back because it had run away because it had seen me already. But just in case, on the off chance it has been startled and tries to run back or anything, thought I'd just get the camera out just in case. Yeah, cut straight across here and then into the hedge somewhere there. Ah, look at this. A load of feathers. I wonder if that's fresh. But it certainly shows that there's some sort of predatory wildlife going on in this area. I wonder if that's what it just was. Well, there we have it. Keep walking. Well, if my calculations are correct, my friend, we're going to follow the road now down to Babbins Wood. In about 3.5 miles we will be in Whittington and about to leave the tarmac and get back into the fields. Okay, so we've just gone the wrong way. Yeah, let's carry on, my friends. We're not doing well at the minute. It's all falling apart around us. Which, to be fair, if this is what it looks like when it's all falling apart, we're not doing badly, are we? Well, I'm certainly enjoying this bit of shade, I've got to say. And again, I've seen one car just go past me a few moments ago. And that's apart from a few boats on the canal and a few people sat out at the side of the canal just enjoying the sun and enjoying some shade. One car and the boats are the only signs of humanity that I've seen in the 2 hours or so of walking that's happened so far. Well, I think this is another one of those moments as we pan around that is as if we have stepped back into, I don't know, sometime in the 1930s. Got your dusty tracks going into the fields here, sun beaming down. If we pan up here, you can see again there's just not been a cloud in the sky while we've been out, and it is absolutely fantastic. Look at this, my friends, we found some water. This is the River Perry, I believe, coming down from Gaboin on its way to cut underneath us in that direction where there's a little weir that you can hear the water flowing over. And then there's loads and loads of little dragonflies zipping around here. This then cuts underneath the Montgomery Canal, not far away from the from where we cut off at the Graham Palmer Lock. That's, if I am correct, I may not be 100% on that. This may be going down towards Maysbury. No, this can't be going towards Maysbury, that's the River Mauder. Yeah, this cuts beneath the canal just down from the Graham Palmer Lock. So it might have been better for me to walk a little bit further, jump in and then swim upstream to here. Just a side note here, my friends. These may look like little bits of dried up bird poo, but these are actually the stickers off the side of apples that one of my friend's granddads used to walk down to this bridge, have an apple and leave the sticker on here, and there's just these last few little bits as the sign of times gone by. I always think about that when I'm down here. You can see some really faded ones here as well. But yeah, just a little tiny thing that nobody would ever think about, and that's what it's from. We're having a slight alteration of our plans. We're not going to Whittington, as I underestimated how far it was up this horrible road. So instead we'll run down over this railway bridge and then join another country lane and go up to Middleton Pool that way. Now here's something you don't expect to find in the middle of rural Shropshire. Swan Petroleum with all of these towers and everything. Don't ask me exactly what any of this is all about, but it's just a curiosity. So that was a very noisy few hundred feet of the busy road that we were on, but as you can see, within 2 or 3 minutes of walking down the lane from it, we're back into just nice, calm, peaceful countryside really. And this is pretty much what it's going to be like until suddenly, after an extremely rural couple of miles, we're in a town. And, well, what a beautiful walk it's been. Gotta admit, it sort of made me panic a little bit at the halfway point when I realised I was definitely getting a little bit of sunburn. But once I'd resolved myself with, oh well, it's too late now, it's been a lovely, nice, calm little bit of countryside. Absolutely beautiful. I mean, just look at that. Oh, my goodness me. How many times I've been up and down this stretch of road on my bike late at night before I ever moved out and had my first boat or anything like that. I used to finish work at 10 o'clock on a Monday in the past and just come out, and I'd be out maybe at midnight cycling around here and going around all the villages. It's been a very nostalgic trip really. Lovely. So how is this for a bit of classic English countryside for you? We've got our lovely little rural postbox there. As you can imagine, not too many letters being posted out here. Birds in the trees, definitely making themselves known. And then you've got your white finger sign pointing us into Middleton. You've got Babinswood, where we've come from. Aston Square in the circle at the top, which is where we are. And then Aston and Oswestry is quicker if you go down that direction, but instead we're walking in this way and we're going to come up down a very, very narrow little country lane, passing Middleton Pool, and then finally, if you've made it this far in the video, well, that'll be the end pretty much. Let's roll. So we're next to Middleton Pool here, which as you can see is closely guarded by nettles. It's all meant to be private and that now, and you're not meant to go over there, so couldn't possibly ever say that I've been in there. Of course, you can see just down in the bottom corner here, hopefully you can make out a little flock of Canada geese there. Quite often around this area, but you get the general gist. I've got other videos where I've been in here pointing the camera around, but I've got to say at this point of the walk I'm not prepared to pick up even more nettle stings than I've already got. If we'd have continued with the original plan, it would have been through this gate, well, over that stile rather, that we would have emerged onto this road, literally about 100 foot away from Middleton Pool. So we are now back on the initial planned route, straight down this little last bit of lane, and we are finally at our destination. Well, it's been a solid walk, with an awful lot of absolutely beautiful rural moments. We've seen a fox, so I'm happy with that. And if we pan around now, classic bit of very tall hedgerow, not too overgrown down here for a country lane. Don't get too close to the nettles when you're letting cars past. But our video, our walk, our time together for this little moment of whatever era you're watching this video, whether it's just after it's gone live or whether it's in distant years ahead when there may no longer be a Dan Brown. Thank you so much for joining me. I think after I've done this little outro part, I'll just put a very small clip just as I walk in and see the first houses of Oswestry. But we're walking up here now. There's a bridge over the main sort of bypass busy road that keeps all the traffic out of Oswestry. And well, I suppose at this point I'll say thank you so much for joining me. Feel free to check out my other videos for literally hundreds of videos about boat life, short films, all sorts of bits and bobs like that, documentaries some would say. If you're really curious and would like to help me out, then really please consider checking out my short books available for the Kindle, and there's also a paperback with some of the Kindle books bundled into one volume. Find links to that in the description, or head to narrowboatbooks.com and that'll take you straight to my Amazon page. But really, my friends, at this point I'm going to say thank you so much for tuning in for about the third time I've said it. Keep it interesting, keep it boat-worthy, keep it boot-worthy, have a fantastic day, and of course, farewell. Hello? And of course there's nobody here.